Okay, let's get right into it. Every so often, you hear about a crop that seems, well, almost too good to be true. It thrives in drier weather, doesn't need a ton of expensive inputs, and there's a growing global demand for it. That crop is ashwagandha. But, there's always a big question that comes with that kind of excitement.
And here it is. Is this crop a genuine gold mine for farmers, or is it just another trend that's been overhyped with some pretty unrealistic promises? That's the puzzle we're going to solve in this explainer. We're going to figure out where the real money is and what the risks actually are.
So let's start with the basics. What is the promise of ashwagandha? I mean, why is it getting so much attention in the first place?
Well, ashwagandha is a medicinal plant. And the part that people really value, the part that has commercial value, is its roots. Now, it's been a staple in traditional Ayurvedic medicine for centuries. But what's really lighting a fire under it right now is the boom in the global wellness industry. That huge demand is what's making farmers all over the world sit up and take notice.
But here is the first absolutely crucial reality check. High demand is great, don't get me wrong. It gets your foot in the door. But it in no way, shape, or form guarantees you'll actually make a profit. Profit, you see, is a whole different beast. So let's get practical. Let's see how this all works on the ground, because profitability, it really starts with suitability. You gotta make sure the crop is right for your land.
Ashwagandha isn't some kind of magic bean. It has its preferences. It loves warm climates, and it absolutely needs well-drained soil. But here's the part that's really turning heads. Its tolerance for lower rainfall. This makes it an incredibly attractive option for farmers in semi-arid areas where those super thirsty crops just aren't an option.
And this metaphor just illustrates the point perfectly. Let's imagine two farmers. The first one is growing a really water-intensive crop. It needs tons of expensive fertilizer and constant pest control. The other farmer chooses a crop that's naturally suited to their environment, something like ashwagandha. Before a single plant is even harvested, that second farmer already has a massive economic advantage. Why? Because their costs are just so much lower from day one.
And that brings us to the real heart of the matter, the actual profit equation. Because look, planting a crop is one thing, but turning that crop into cash in your pocket, that's a completely different ballgame. This might be the single most important thing to remember from this whole explainer. You could have two farmers, same amount of land, same crop, but their final income could be worlds apart. How is that possible? Because it's the quality of the harvested roots. How big they are, how clean they are, how well they're dried, that's what buyers are actually paying for.
Let's go back to our two farmers. Farmer 1 is in a rush. He sells as fast as he can, doesn't really bother cleaning the roots so they're mixed with soil, and they're not dried very well. Farmer 2, on the other hand, is strategic. She takes her time, negotiates with multiple buyers, carefully cleans and grades her product, and makes sure it's dried just right. The difference in their paychecks is going to be huge.
And that's it, right there. That's the hidden truth. It's the exact same crop, grown in pretty similar conditions, but the business result is completely different. It's not about what you grow, it's about how you manage the whole process from seed to sale.
Okay, so we've seen the potential, we see the promise. Now it's time to get real and talk about the risks, because every single agricultural business has them, and ashwagandha is definitely no exception.
So, where do new growers, the really enthusiastic ones, tend to trip up? If you can understand these common pitfalls, that's the first step to avoiding them and actually building something that lasts. This, right here, this is probably the single biggest mistake new growers see. They see these record-high prices online or hear stories, and they build their whole financial plan around that number. But that's just fantasy. A smart, profitable plan is built on realistic, conservative price estimates that can handle the ups and downs of the market.
And of course, there are other big risks to keep an eye on. Prices can drop if the market suddenly gets flooded, soil that doesn't drain well can literally rot your crop from the roots up, weeds can just choke out your young plants before they even have a chance, start with bad seed and you're doomed from the get-go, and if you don't have good relationships with buyers, you can get forced into what's called distress selling, taking any low price you can get.
But hey, for every risk, there's a strategy. So now we're going to look at the Smart Growers Playbook. This is how you turn all those risks we just talked about into manageable, actionable tasks. And what's really cool about this slide is how these steps directly cancel out the risks we just listed. Check it out. Secure your buyers before you even plant. That eliminates distress selling. Use quality seed. Get on top of those weeds early, and then focus like a laser on that post-harvest quality, harvesting at the right time, drying it properly, and storing it safely so you can sell when the time is right. This is the roadmap.
All right, we've talked about the promise, the process, the risks, and the playbook.
It is time to circle all the way back to that first big question and deliver the final verdict. So, after all that, what is the answer? Can you actually make good money farming ashwagandha?
And the answer is, it's not a simple yes or no. It absolutely can be profitable, but only under the right conditions. Yes, it's profitable when you treat it like a serious business, not when you're just chasing a trend. Yes, when you grow it in the right region and focus on quality. But it's a big no if you just plant it blindly because of hype, if you have no real way to sell it, and if you don't keep your costs in check. And this, right here, this is the most important thing to take away from all of this. The truly successful farmers aren't the ones jumping on whatever crop is popular this year. They're the ones who carefully evaluate their own system, their soil, their climate, their market access, and then find the crop that fits. The profitability of ashwagandha isn't really in the plant itself. It's in the smart, well-planned system that you build around it.